17 CF 7518. I have counsel of the State Defense, Mr. Quiles, present. We do have our jury present, and I'll wait to bring him out until he finishes up. Before we get started, anything we need to handle for the state before the jury comes out?
We just need Detective Abbott.
Okay, anything from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Can we bring Detective Abbott back in, please? He should be outside the courtroom, I'm assuming.
He was in the hall.
All right, Detective Abbott's making his way forward. Mr. Gregg, go ahead and bring the jury in, please. No, you're good. You're still under oath from yesterday.
Your Honor, the jury's entering the court.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Everyone may have a seat. Before we get started, just a reminder, Detective Abbott is still under oath from yesterday during his testimony. We'll continue with the state's direct here in a moment. A quick scheduling issue. I expect to be able to get a lot of testimony in today. If we stay until a little after 6, does that present a huge issue from anybody? And you can give me nods of the heads if you wish to talk to your better half, and give me a note later or mention it to the bailiffs. That's fine as well. I just wanted to give you a heads up now so we can try to maximize our time together. I know it's a long day. It certainly will accommodate you guys for breaks and that nature, but given that it's Wednesday, third day of the week of week 2, myself and the parties are trying to maximize our time together. So if that's a major issue for anybody, I've gotten a few shakes, but just let me know if it's an issue by mentioning it to the bailiff, who'll let me know at the next break or something, and we'll go from there. With that said, State, you may continue with your direct examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, Detective Abbott, we had left off with State's Evidence 64. If you could please tell us about the next entry where we left off. I believe that's going to be the 8/19/2018-202. If you can tell us what that is.
This is another message, 8/19/2018-202. I'm sorry for sending that. I'm still in my feelings, but it really don't matter no more anyways. We will never be together ever again. I don't ever want to talk to you no more.
Again, Detective, please be very careful about reading the exact language, okay? Thank you.
I don't even want to talk to you no more. You really went the lowest that I could handle and would never forgive you.
And the next entry, please.
8/19/2018, 244. It appears to be a picture.
And we'll just look at it very briefly. And could you tell us what it is?
It is a screenshot of a Snapchat message between Uncle and me, where Uncle says, "Love you," me, "We're in the same house." Uncle, I'm coming for a kiss.
And the next one, please.
8/19/2018, 255. Free man, LOL, inside joke.
And the next one.
8/19/2018, 257. I'm so glad I don't have to worry about trusting anymore, because at the end of the day, everyone is always out for themselves. So I'll be just the same way. FTW is back in full effect. Fuck it all.
The next one, please.
8/20/2018, 1243. You can't keep it real with me because I'm not important enough to do so. You keep cheating on me and I'm done with you, so stay in your feelings as long as you need to be. I finished with all my stressing and crying over you. I'm good.
And the next message, please.
It's 8/20/2018 at 1:06. It's so funny how you mess up and you decide that you're going to be mad at me because I don't trust you no more and don't want you no more either. This could have all been avoided, but you choose this. This is what you wanted, so now you got it. I just wish I didn't feel so much for you, because you wouldn't be a issue for me to get over. But as I always say, it's just a feeling that will pass in time.
And the next message.
8/20/2018, 109. You're just making it all so easy for me to just leave you alone. Goodbye, Yana. I think you should take the bus back home from now on. You seem to have it all figured out.
And Detective Abbott, through your investigation with speaking with family members, is Yana an abbreviation for Ayana?
Yes.
And the next one, please.
The next one is 8/20/2018, 121, and it is a photograph.
And what does it say?
The face of a cheater.
And have you seen this image before?
Yes.
And where was that located?
On the defendant's cell phone.
And do you recall the date?
No.
Okay. Would that, though, the date be in the records?
Yes. We read it off yesterday. I don't remember what it was.
Okay, no problem. However, did that picture have a saying on it?
No.
And does this picture have a saying?
Yes.
And what is that saying?
The face of a cheater.
And who's the picture of?
IS.
And the next message, please.
8/20/2018, 122. Nah, I'm not going to even bother. You're both full of shit, and I'm not going to keep stressing over you and your lies. Just know you're mad fucked up, and you lost everything very good to you because you've lost something very good to you because you want to be a unloyal person. Like I said, I hope it was worth it.
And the next entry, please.
8/20/2018, 124. And now you're talking to someone else behind my back again, too. And you wanted to be married to me. Wow.
And the next message, please.
8/20/2018 at 125. You tell me you're a liar. You just can't stay with one person at all, huh? And I also found out the truth about what you were coming to wear over her. That's why your mom flips on you.
And the next entry.
8/20/2018, 132. I can't believe I'm still talking to you and actually trying to believe what you're saying, even when I know you're lying to me. I'm so fucked up over your manipulation. It's so sad. I really just need to get away from you. You know, a ton of people would say you're going to end up alone with nobody. I'm not going to say that because that's a lie. You're going to be with someone that is going to treat you the same exact way you have done me. And then you would be able to relate to this feeling I'm having.
The next entry, please.
8/20/2018, 3:51. Oh, so you in your feelings now because you put some effort into something and I dismissed it like how you've been doing me. All of this was just words to me. The only real thing that I know is true is what I responded to.
And the next entry, please.
8/20/2018, 4:44. You got it all the way twisted. I caught you in a lie. You didn't just come out with the truth, LOL. And you still continue to lie about things, so you have only your own self to blame for me feeling like I do about you.
And the next entry.
8/20/2018, 7:13.
No, 506.
506, okay. I didn't see you scroll that high. 8/20/2018, 506. Same shit, humble yourself, you're wrong. This why I'm not interested in being with you no more. You have an excellent excuse for everything you know you're wrong about.
And the next entry, please, Detective.
8/20/2018, 507. I asked you how did you feel about your sister liking Jayco, and you said she always does that to you. Then you got real quiet, and I said, KP, you just fucked up, right? So get out of this fantasy, as you was truly just letting me know all your lies.
And the next entry, Detective.
8/20/2018, 7:13. I'm not making anything up. I just choose not to bother you. I just choose not be bothered with you no more. You can keep the truth all the way to your grave, but just know, I know, and that's it. Just because I'm not acting crazy over it, don't make it hurt any less. There is many things I keep to myself, so like I said, I'm just done with you and your unloyal, dishonest self, and I hope it was worth every bit of it because I truly loved the hell out of you, and now I'm trying to get over you.
And the next entry, please.
8/20/2018, 8/26. Yeah, I can't keep this up with you. You know exactly what you did with him, but you'll never admit it, so I'm good. You're good with us not being together, and so am I.
And the next entry.
8/20/2018, 9/12. Why you already know what it looks like. You know what you are, something else, LOL. I'm just so done with you and your bullshit. You're making me hate you every time you try to manipulate me.
And the next entry.
8/20/2018, 11:42. I think you will pick a different distraction before you know it, and you'll never even think about nothing anymore.
And the next entry.
8/21/2018, 2:01. Nah, I don't have nothing much to talk about, and plus, it's not the same anymore.
And the next entry.
8/21/2018, 2:09. I didn't mean to, and I did already. Why you acting concerned for? Doing put me in the same caliber as you. I said I wouldn't, and I meant it. Me and Maya are just good friends.
And is Maya a nickname for Samaya?
Yes.
And the next entry, please.
8/21/2018, 11:03. Yeah, I was just going to say GM, but then I thought about it, and you're the one that needs to make the effort, not me.
And the next entry.
8/21/2018, 3:22. OMG, you was right. I can hear the train horn from here, from the zoo.
And the next entry.
8/21/2018, 3:22. I don't like nobody hurting you but me.
And the next entry.
8/22/2018, 12:02. I'm sorry. I forgot you're carrying our child and you're oversensitive. I do love you very much and don't want you to keep going through this drama. But we have plans, and if you act off of your emotions, you will hinder all of our plans in the future. It's very hard to see it now, but it's the truth.
And the next entry?
8/22/2018, 2 o'clock. The day Uncle John told you that Maya liked Ken, they were already dating, and the very next day was the first day that they met up, they had sex, and then on his birthday they had sex.
And the next entry?
8/22/2018, 4:29. You know what I'm talking about, but you want to play dumb. It's cool. Our whole relationship, all that you lied about to me, all of it, because I know all of the stuff you think I don't. Let's try this again.
The next entry?
8/22/2018, 4:29. Okay, then I pray whenever you get ready to tell me the truth, you will, and see how much further we will go. But until then, this is what it is.
And the next entry?
Okay. 8/23/2018, 3:13. I lied about not liking Maya and wanting to do things with her. I started the whole thing. I told you that I was only talking to you, but I was also talking to Maya. The only reason we didn't do it more than once was because she found out that we were doing things and she didn't want nothing to do with me. I did kiss her down there once only. That was the same day we did it. I told you things to like me more, and when I told you that I wanted you to see our other people, I was lying, %2C. I talked to Mai about you and our problems all of the time, %2C. At first, I told you I was going to give you a baby to keep. I wasn't being serious, but once I seen how happy you were, I decided to give you 2 once you get older. After I found out about you and the boy, I was going to sex your sister to hurt you like you hurt me, but she didn't want to, so it never happened. I told you I had cameras up in the house. It not true. I know the truth from something else, which I'm not going to say. I get info from your mom and aunts about you and tell them things so you won't be with nobody else, %2C. I said I'm not bothered by your actions anymore, but that's far from the truth. I hate when you are looking at other people, %2C. I hate when you talk to other people, %2C. I have your friends, %2C, neighbors. I hate that you still talk to that boy. I hate that you talk to other people on your social network, Instagram, Snapchat, and some other things you have, %2C. I act like I have hacked your phone and I don't know what's going.
And the next entry?
8/23/2018, 3:18. I stopped wanting Maya after she turned me down the last time I got it in my head that it's not going to happen. She said, just laid there, say no, and she was much looser than you.
Okay, and the next entry?
8/23/2018, 10:30. You see, what you don't get is I don't give a fuck about what Maya do. I only care about what you do. And like I said in my truth letter to you, I would tell you aunt and mom about things so you...
Be careful, and your mom.
I would tell you aunt and your mom about things so you could only be with me. But you might only read the Maya part and disregard the rest.
And the next entry?
8/24/2018, 12:54. That's how it should be. If Jaco comes at you in a inappropriate way, you should tell me ASAP so I can deal with it right away. And if I question him in front of you, you should be straightforward with it all so he knows you're off limits.
And the next entry?
8/25, 2018, 7/11, and it appears to be another picture.
And can you describe what we're looking at?
It is another screenshot of a text message from Uncle John.
And could you just read the bubbles, please?
So, yes. Yeah, text your aunt too, love. What's wrong, baby? Snap me. Yeah. Talk to me. Why are you crying? Hello. WTF, yeah. What happened from when we was talking to now? Are you serious right now? Okay then, GN, I love you. And then at the bottom you can make out that it says, I knocked out.
And the next entry?
8/26, 2018, 11/19. LOL, you will be my best friend. Went, you're pregnant. I'll cook for you until you can't eat no more.
And the next entry?
8/27, 2018, 101. Because I want to take care of you.
And the next entry?
8/27, 2018, 10/29. I was on the roof and you told me to see if the chimney was connected to the other apartment so you could talk to that boy. I said, yeah, and you started to make plans to change your school schedule so you can meet up with him and go to a hotel. I started to cry and then I woke up.
And the next entry?
8/28, 2018, 113. Yeah, I can hear it now. If a fire, yeah, %2C. Where Jaco, %2C. In my pants, yeah. You want to put it out? I can't.
The next entry?
8/28, 2018, 12/29. I'm Nim being a B. I just want you to be okay, and I want to know where I stand with you so I'm not just surprised later that you've been with someone else and or you are talking to someone else. That's what I mean. I'd rather you just tell me up front so I can be prepared.
And the next entry?
8/29, 2018, 12/10. I've been kicked down there so many
Detective Abbott, just take your time, okay? Make sure you're reading word,
Yes, ma'am.
exact word. Just take your time.
I've been kicked down there so much, I'm not sure how you're even pregnant.
How you're even pregnant.
How you're even pregnant.
Thank you. The next entry?
8/29, 2018, 5:59. It's a picture.
And can you describe it, please?
It is a screenshot of a photograph of two people having sex, and it says favorite position.
And the next entry?
9/2, 2018 at 2:03. It says, ha ja. First off, that boy don't know how to fight, %2C. 2, I've been fighting all of my life. I can take hits there. I could stand there and let him punch me and it would have no effect on me at all. Although I look out of shape, I'm very seasoned. Just 2 days ago, I beat the shit out of someone. I believe I'm going to be okay. You see, I told him to wait until everyone leaves. Not for me, it's so when I knock him on his ass, his pride won't be too messed up. The goal is not to defeat him, it's just to teach him to respect his place.
And the next entry?
9/3, 2018, 11:51. That's what your slow ass should have said from the fucking jump.
And the next entry?
9/3, 2018, 11:52. Because it was a simple question that you seem to had a problem answering it. It's cool though. I'm not going to bother you none. I'll talk to you tomorrow, GN.
And the next entry?
9/3/2018, 11:52. Oh, so you're not going to fuck him. You'll just wait for me. That's what you meant.
And the next entry?
9/4/2018, 9:27. I'm very aggravated right now. I'm going to hit you later.
And the next entry?
9/7/2018, 12:21. Yeah, so I need you to be like 100% with me at all times. I'm just so in love with you. I'll kill you and cry.
And the next entry?
9/17/2018, 1:34. No, it seems like you the one that wants that, but you don't want to hurt my feelings, so you rather start up your bullshit again so I can leave you. Look, I don't have time for all of your little games. You like to play like I'm stupid and don't see what the fuck is going on. I trust you until you start lying to me again. Just like how all of a sudden you back playing your Sims game full time again to the point you don't have time for me no more. I won't be surprised that you don't telk the next.
And just the N word?
Yes, it's the N word.
Okay, go ahead.
The same thing you tell me just so you do fuck up. Like the name you keep saying when we fucking, when you about to come and catch yourself.
And the next message?
9/17/2018 at 1:43. I do you just keep lying to me. Then you try to make it as if I'm the one going behind your back. With who though? I don't fuck with your sister. I don't talk to nobody but your ass. I'm just tired of your games. I'm getting getting very old sometimes. I wish I wasn't so deep in love with you. Okay, I won't keep talking all of the bullshit you give me.
And the next entry?
9/17/2018 at 1:44. I expect you to like other people, but you can't even admit that. You're 16 and H all of the time. Why wouldn't you? But the fact that you just can't be real about it is sickening to me.
And the next entry?
9/17/2018 at 1:49. Why would she lie about deleting me on Snapchat? That's so stupid, right? You don't be even making sense, %2C. I believe when you said you went to your counselor's office to change your classes, but then you started with all the other bullshit that makes me question your story. But you have it all planned out, so I'm going to let you be. If there was a boy I was up into this point, I was trusting that you'll tell me, but I see you back to your old ways again. I hope whoever it is makes you happy, because obviously I can't. While you want to make it seem I'm doing things behind your back, really funny, Yana, for lying to me, enjoy the rest of your day. I'm not staying with you either, so if you want to take the bus with your new buddy, do that. It will save me gas and me not seeing your face no more.
And the next entry?
9/17/2018 at 4:17. Yeah, so it can be so easy to leave you alone. I'm so in love with you. I push all my instincts to the side and look like the dumbass at the end. Well, you started your lying again.
And the next entry?
9/19/2018, 11:20. I'm sure you won't understand what's my problem, so I'm just not going to let you bother me like you have been anymore, since this seems to be a ongoing problem with you.
And the next entry?
9/25/2018, 3:02. You're stuck with me until you die. I love you way too much to let you go. So you're not going to have no life.
And the next entry?
9/25/2018, 3:03. I'm way too in love with you to let you go.
The next entry?
10/6/2018, 11/12. So if we get married, we will need to go to Vegas.
And the next entry?
10/9/2018, 3:01. I'm glad you got someone else. I hope he makes you happy. Bye.
And the next entry?
10/9/2018, 3:02. You mad fucked up.
And the next entry?
10/16/2018, 6:22. Well, after you come in my mouth, I'm going to keep licking your clit and make you come again, then make you breakfast. And after you eat, I'm going to slowly put my tip in, then rub your clit with my tip, then slide it in some more until I'm all the way in, then grab your neck and slowly, with a little pressure, until you about to nut, then come you until you nut.
And the next entry?
It's 10/21/2018, 7:18. Josh Alicia T. Payne, I'm in love with a dancer.
And the next entry?
11/3/2018, 2:46. It is a photograph.
And was it a photograph of?
A woman wearing underwear sitting on a man's lap, hugging.
And what is the title?
Add freaky couples.
And the next entry?
11/10/2018, 7:14. He brought me back to life, and then after he left, I ended up dying. So when I came back to life again, I missed him but couldn't find him, and I went to a baseball field with one of his old partners. Then they hadn't seen him in a while.
And the next entry?
11/11/2018, 3:33, 501 West Adams Street, percent 2C, room 2472.
And the next entry?
11/18/2018, 11:33, wider hips.
And the next entry?
11/18/2018, 11:33, thicker thighs.
Next entry?
11/18/2018, 11:33, curly hair.
The next entry?
11/18/2018, 11:34, trendy clothes.
And detective, the next entry?
11/18/2018, 11:34, lighter.
And the next entry?
11/19/2018, 3:25. Wow, you don't mean that. No, I get us protection, and since I never knew I could have got you birth. Let me start over. Wow, you don't mean that. No, I get us protection, and since I never knew I could have got you birth control without your mom knowing.
Next entry?
11/19/2018, 3:26. I love being in you. I live tasting you with my tongue. I love your moans. You don't want to be with me no more.
And the next entry?
11/19/2018, 3:28. You're really breaking my heart right now. What the hell I do to deserve this?
The next entry?
11/19/2018, 3:28. I don't care about the sex. I just don't want to lose you. You are what I'm in love with.
And the next entry?
12/1/2018 at 1:42. Oh, okay. Did you and Jaco do anything at all? If you tell me, I will forgive you, and I won't bother with it no more, I promise, on Nia.
And does the defendant have a daughter named Nia?
Yes.
And the next entry?
12/4/2018, 149. Yes, you're right, and I do see the problem. I just can't not talk to your sister because it would look weird. Now, a month at a time is okay, but not for good.
And the next entry?
12/4/2018, 405. You don't have time for me at all anymore. That's what it all seems like. So I'm taking your,
Be careful with the wording.
so I'm taking you didn't want the ring from me.
And the next entry, Detective?
12/5/2018 at 2:24. Well, I don't have a GF no more, so I know what you feeling.
And the last entry.
12/5/2018, 3:27. Like what way? I know you don't want to be with me no more, so I'm assuming that you have someone else who you might be in mind or giving your time to, since you not giving it to me.
And Detective, is that where the records end with the Princess 4846 and the excess Yana communications?
Yes.
Now, Detective Abbott, I think you had mentioned earlier, did you send to get some Google location data from Google?
Yes.
And did you ask the crime analyst unit to map that?
I did.
And so I'm going to be showing you State's Evidence 35. I'm first going to bring up from 12/19/2018. I'm going to pause it for a second. Did you review these?
Yes.
And then after reviewing, did you go and determine the various locations?
Yes.
Now, in the particular one involving 12/19/2018, did you look at the area of where the defendant's cell phone placed him?
Yes.
And I'll fast forward it just a moment to get to that time frame. So in the area around the 11:34, 11:33 time frame, can you tell, did you actually drive out there?
Yes.
Can you tell us what the area is?
It's a parts place just off of Airport Road. It's Duval Place Drive, north of Ace Pickup Park.
Okay. Now, did you drive the distance between, and do you remember exactly, you said it was off of what street, Duval Place?
Duval Place.
Is that here in Duval County?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, did you drive the distance between Terry Parker High School and this parts location off of Duval Place?
Yes, I did.
How long did it take you by car?
By car, it was roughly 18 minutes.
And was that one way, 18 minutes?
One way.
Okay. Now, did you then, fast forward just a moment. Now, when the GPS ends at approximately 11:39 time frame, did you drive from that area to Terry Parker High School or Terry Parker High School to that area?
I drove from this exact point to Terry Parker High School and then straight back.
And how long did it take you in driving time?
So round trip was roughly 35 minutes.
So round trip was 35 minutes?
Yes, ma'am. I got over there, it took me longer to get there because of traffic than it did to get back.
Okay. That's why you're saying approximately?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, and looking at the map as well, is the area around the 11:39:29 timeframe, is that north of Ace Pickup Park?
Yes.
And can you just circle approximately where Ace Pickup Park would be in relation to that pin? So in distance-wise, how far is that from the last pin on the Google location data?
Approximately a mile, maybe a little less, a little more.
So it's not far?
No,
Is
ma'am.
that fair to say?
No, ma'am, not at all.
All right, move on to December 20th. Now, were you able to determine this location here where the GPS location commences at 12/20/2018 at approximately the 16:04 hour?
Yes, this is Bush Drive, right at Main Street. And this location here is a bank, or a post office, sorry. There's a bank and a post office right next to one another.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Detective. And how far would this location have been from Ace Pickup?
2 miles, 3 miles.
And is Ace Pickup Park south of this area?
Yes, ma'am, you straight down Main Street.
And could you just draw for us which one is Main Street? And is that the roadway that's going north and south on this map at this time frame at 1611?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Now, what area is the Google data driving?
Heckscher Drive, Zoo Parkway.
Okay, and then what bridge is this?
I believe that's the bridge that, I don't know the name of it. It's the one on Heckscher Drive that takes you across the river.
Okay. Now, approximately, where are we heading?
Down towards Beach Boulevard.
Now, were you able to determine the location of 10268 Beach Boulevard?
Yes, ma'am.
And what was that location?
The gun gallery.
And I believe you had already stated this is also where you found a sign-in sheet with the name Johnathan J. Quiles?
Yes.
And was it on the 12/20/2018 date?
Yes, ma'am.
Next, what direction is the Google data traveling in?
North.
Do you know what bridge it is now that is being passed over?
The Dames Point Bridge.
And now I'm paused it at the 2 minute and 8 seconds. We see a 528 Trot River Drive, 1739. Were you able to determine this location?
528 Trout River Drive is the defendant's address.
And now what direction is the Google data traveling?
It's going back south.
And do you recall what area of town this is that we're now traveling? And I'll pause it. It's at the 1809 time frame.
I would consider this, it's Zone 3. It's kind of the Mayport area, Heckscher Drive area. And Gervin Road is where it's at now.
Okay, so at the 1817 time frame, you say this is Gervin Road?
Yes.
And is that where we're looking now, is the Gervin Road area?
Yes, it's showing the phone moving around that neighborhood.
Now, is the GPS now traveling, looks like westbound and northbound?
West and then north.
So I've now paused it at the 1848. Were you able to determine this location?
This is a Walmart off of 295 and Monument.
Now, when did you learn of the potential location defendant being at the Walmart?
Once I got the results back from this, it was March 20th, 2019, and it takes roughly a week to get the crime analysis unit to map things for us. So 3 months later,
Would you have been able to try to obtain video surveillance?
we contacted them and we were told that they only hold video surveillance for 30 days.
And now, Detective, ultimately, was the defendant arrested for the murder of IS and the sexual battery in July of 2019?
Yes.
Just have a moment. No further questions, Your Honor.
Good morning, Detective Abbott.
Morning, sir. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Doing well.
Good. All right. So between yesterday and today, we've gone over quite a bit.
Yes.
You know, mine will kind of go back over here in just a second. This isn't working.
So Dave, just put it on the table, yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say, it's rolling away on me.
Officer, can you help him out real quick?
You got it?
Oh, okay. You good?
Yes, sir, you're
All right.
All right. Going to kind of back up a little bit, if you don't mind. We're going to start at the beginning. You stated yesterday this started as a runaway, correct?
Correct.
Or missing
A
person.
missing persons case.
But believed to be a runaway, not endangered, though, correct?
We didn't know. She was supposed to come home from school that day, and she wasn't on the bus, and she never made it home, and no one knew where she was at.
Okay.
So I wouldn't necessarily call that a runaway. That's just a missing persons.
Right. But let's be clear. SS didn't give you all the information that she could have, correct?
Initially, no.
Okay. Well, throughout this the first 5-6 months, she withheld information throughout the entire thing, correct?
I wouldn't say 5 or 6 months. What she was trying to do was disguise and hide the relationship that IS had with her uncle and the fact that he was the father of her
Relationship you
child.
believe-
Your Honor, I would ask that the witness
I need an objection and a legal basis, and we'll move forward.
objection, not allowing the witness to finish the answer.
Overruled. I need a question, I need an answer. Pause between the question and the answer, let each other finish the sentences. If it's not the answer you want, you can go back and clarify.
Yes, sir, Your Honor. So to be clear, it's your belief that Mr. Quiles was having a relationship, but you don't know that for sure?
That's incorrect.
All right.
Through my investigation, I found that they were having a relationship. And in fact, within the first 9 days of this investigation, I've already obtained 2 confessions from the defendant, one from a brother and one from a wire. We didn't stop there. We continued to investigate this further because we want to try to gather all the evidence we can. And we were able to verify a lot of things and get social media stuff.
All right. So, but initially when she was missing, this wasn't on the media or television, correct?
It didn't get on, I don't know when exactly it came on the media. I believe it started getting on the media just before I got involved.
Which was what date?
I got involved, I was notified on the 29th of December 2018, and I was officially assigned on the 30th of December 2018.
And before that, the other detective, I believe Porter had it, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And is it in fact true the family was really upset because this wasn't getting the attention that they felt that it deserved?
I can't testify to what happened before my involvement.
Okay. Even when you got it, isn't it in fact true the family was still upset because this wasn't getting the attention they felt it deserved, right?
They were upset at the entire situation.
Okay.
Rightfully so. It's a missing 16-year-old girl that no one's seen or heard from, and she's pregnant. You know, it's a very sensitive situation.
All right. So when you got involved, you reviewed the video, right?
Yes.
From Terry Parker.
Yes.
Okay. You see her leaving the school on the video, correct?
Correct.
There's no foul play there, correct?
None.
Okay. She has her book bag in her hand or over her shoulder, correct?
It's got 2 duffel bags.
Okay. She's walking away from the school at the bus area on video, right?
Correct.
All right. You don't know where she went, do you?
At the time, no.
Okay. You don't know if she got in a car, correct?
At that time, no.
You don't know if she got on a bus or went across town or went to visit somebody at that time, do you?
We checked with the bus companies, and they weren't able to find any video of her getting on any buses in that area. Same with the taxi cabs.
Okay. Now, going back to SS, she withheld the information about IS supposedly going up to Georgia to see her grandmother, right?
Initially, in her interview with me, she didn't disclose that. It was a second interview when we kind of pressed her for more information about that. And she said, okay, I think she may have gone up there. At this time, we really hadn't determined that IS had been murdered. And so she's still trying to hide this secret relationship that they had in the pregnancy. And that was the root for her, I guess, dishonesty in the beginning. As things slowly unraveled, you know, she came around. But she's also 14 at the time. She's scared. She knows what she has to hide. It's normal. I mean, I worked in sex crimes for 2 years, and sometimes it takes a little bit for people to warm up to people. You know, I'm a bald-headed white guy.
So between your first interview and your second interview, how much time had lapsed?
I don't recall. A few weeks.
Okay.
We're still working on leads.
All right. So, but to be clear, she lied to you, right?
Yes.
Okay. She wasted valuable time, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And she led you, actually, by not telling you what you guys needed to know, she actually led you on a wild goose chase for a good 10 days.
A wild goose chase.
She wouldn't tell you that where IS was supposed to be. She gave you other information that actually pointed you in a different direction, correct?
She did claim that she believed she had went up there, but when she finally came off the truth, what she told us that happened on this Terry Parker video was that IS told her she was going to go to the grandmother's house for a couple of weeks and figure out a way to come home and tell her mother that the defendant was the father of their child. But in doing the due diligence on that, we tried to find her up there twice. We even put her on the spot to do a controlled call with her grandmother.
Right. And again, I mean, this is valuable time of a missing child, as you stated, correct?
Who we now know was dead by the time any of these conversations happened.
You believe she's dead based on what you've put together. But you can't say for sure she's dead, can you?
I believe she's dead based on your client implicating himself twice to her murder.
Say for sure. You don't have a body, do you?
We never found her, sadly, no.
You don't have any blood, do you?
We did not have her blood because the defendant manipulated the scene where he claims to have shot her.
Okay.
Said it was outside a vehicle, he shot her, and the blood that was on the ground, he scooped it up to tamper with the scene and get rid of evidence.
Okay. You think you have the gun, but you can't prove the last time that the gun that you recovered was even fired, can you?
I don't know that anyone can prove the last time a gun was fired.
All right.
It's either clean or it's dirty, and to determine when it was fired is, I don't have that training.
Isn't it in fact true, the gun you recovered, you don't even know if that's the murder weapon either, do you?
No, I don't. We have no ballistics or shell casings to compare. However, the defendant did make statements that the gun he used was still at his home, and we went to the home and recovered one gun.
We'll get to the statements of my client here in just a few minutes. Bear with me, because there's a whole lot more to that. At the very beginning, Mr. Quiles and his entire family, his wife at the time, were both very cooperative and even assisted, correct?
Correct.
You went out there multiple times to his residence. He gave you free access. You didn't have to get a warrant, nothing. Whatever you guys need, he was willing to cooperate, right?
We went out there once. Every time we went out there to get any kind of property after that, it was under a search warrant.
Okay.
The first time was just to speak, get consent for DNA, and get a background on where he was and where he works.
Okay. And he cooperated with all of that.
Yes.
Okay. So did his wife, correct?
Correct.
And you were aware of JSO officers going in there on multiple occasions when she first went missing, looking for her to see if she had gone there or anywhere else in that immediate area, right?
It's protocol to search the house first before you expand the search.
And isn't it in fact true, based on your investigation, he voluntarily let them in, gave them free access to anything and everything that they wanted, right?
I don't know about anything and everything, but he did grant them access to search the property to make sure she was not there.
Okay. Now, during the course of you speaking with both Mr. Quiles and his wife, Naomi, you made mention about this, that my client made a comment about 38 pair of underwear being in some backpack or bag, right?
He didn't say that it was in the bag. I was talking to them about her being missing, and Miss Naomi said, yeah, it's crazy because the only thing she took was her prized possession. I don't know what that is. So I'm like, what was that? She was like, she took all of her Victoria's Secret bras and underwear. That's her most prized possession. She's so proud of it. And while she's talking about that, it was then that the defendant said, yeah, 38 pair.
Okay. So it was Naomi was the one that brought all this up about her prized possession, the Victoria's Secret underwear, right?
Correct.
Okay.
But not how many pairs.
Okay. But isn't it in fact true, through the course of your investigation, you came to learn that both IS and SS were over at their residence on a regular basis, right?
Yes.
Okay. And she would come over there after school, stay there because her mom worked various hours or would be doing various things. And it was at Kimberly Mobley's direction that IS or SS would go over there, right?
Correct.
All right. So they had clothes there as well as their underwear and other things.
I would imagine if they're going to stay for a couple of days that, and this is true for myself, I'm not going to pack every pair of underwear I own to go spend the night with somebody for 1 or 2 days.
Okay. Now, next you brought up the minivan. You went out there, you searched it, you had an evidence technician go out there and processed the vehicle as well, right?
Yes.
No blood, correct?
No blood found in it.
No DNA, and no signs of foul play, correct?
Correct.
Matter of fact, the same minivan that you believe was used on the 19th and 20th at the time she went missing, that was driven by Mr. Quiles, you can't even say if that was used in the commission of a crime, can you?
Technically, no.
Okay. Now, I know you're basing this off of what my client is alleged to have said on a wire at the jail, but independent of that, you cannot say Johnathan Quiles actually shot IS, can you?
All I have is his confessions. There's no video on that side of the building. We don't have any ballistics to compare to.
You can't say for a fact that she was shot and killed at Ace Pick-a-Part, can you?
I found no physical evidence to show that other than the evidence of his confession.
Okay. But again, there's no physical evidence that Ace Pick-a-Part is an actual place that is a crime scene, is there?
I consider it a crime scene, just like I consider Terry Parker's school where she went missing the first crime scene, that being the second. The third crime scene being the landfill where the dumpster dumped her, and the fourth being her bedroom closet where we found the Donquay and parsley pills.
Okay, well, we'll get to that here in a few minutes as well. Because this is your theory based upon the totality of the circumstances and everything surrounding it based on your investigation over a year plus, correct?
Correct.
All right. Now, you were shown number 67 on the evidence. Your Honor, may I have Detective Abbott step down forward? Of course. Sir? On number, actually, yeah, we could do that. Okay. I'll have her put it on the overhead to make it easier, Your Honor. Yes.
Okay, sure.
And just let me know when it comes up on your screen, please.
Sure.
Can you help me? Thank you so much. Just came. So they manipulate that, and then these are this. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It published.
Oh, there it goes. Okay. So we're looking at states number 67. Is it on your screen, Detective?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, to be clear, this was about 5 or 6 months after IS had gone missing, correct?
Correct.
All right. Now, to the right, you had originally testified on the far right behind that blue fence that that's where the concrete company was, correct?
Yes, the old concrete company.
The old concrete company, and Ace Pick-a-Part had taken that over.
Correct.
All right. Now, at the time that IS actually went missing, part of that fence was under construction at that time, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you went through and you reviewed the video and you saw Mr. Quiles in his red minivan and it was going back and forth off to the left in an area where people were wondering why he might be going over there, right?
I only saw it go back there once on the 19th. Other than that, every time it pulled into the parking lot down here, it turned south to park. And he would always back in over here, and one time he backed in over here. I guess he was backing in over here, not here.
Okay, but on the 19th and 20th, if he went over to the other side, that area was still under construction. There was work being done over there, so he would have had a legitimate reason to go over there, right?
Of course, this is part of the property, and in fact, on January 8th, that's where we made contact with him working on a fence.
Okay.
He had rights to the entire property as an employee there, doing many different tasks.
Right. But on the 19th and 20th, where there was questioning why would Mr. Quiles be going over there, he was actually, as you stated, even on the 8th, he was going over there, they were working on the fence, and that area was still under construction, and that was also a storage area for Ace Pickup Park, correct?
I don't know if it was a storage area or not, it may have been. But the only time I've ever seen him go back there was that one time on the 19th, and that was when he returned from where he was gone.
Did you review part of the video where he was using a loader and he was picking up vehicles and moving the vehicles?
I did see him go that, but only in the van did he ever go back there once that I was able to see.
And I'm referring also with the loader where he'd go over there, pick up cars that were being stored over there.
Yeah, he would come back and forth with loaders moving vehicles.
Okay, as well as he swapped out the forks for a bucket and he would have picked up rock and lime and stuff like that to fill in.
Rock, lime, dirt.
Okay. So him going back and forth to that area is and was not uncommon at that time, correct?
Correct. But this is a part that, like he said in a confession, a remote area where customers are not allowed to go, where there's not a lot of people working.
Okay. All right. Now, is that the same area where you went with the canine?
This was one of the areas we also went with the canine, yes.
Okay. And the canine actually alerted on a blue GMC, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Was there any other vehicle that it alerted on?
There were other vehicles out in the main lot as well as the car crusher. Back here, the GMC, I believe, was the only one it alerted to, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. And
The one that I was present to observe. I didn't follow him around the entire property the entire time he searched.
because he was there several hours.
He was there several hours, yes.
If I remember right, like 5 or 6, right?
I don't know for sure how many hours. I know he was there for several hours over 2 different days.
Okay. And again, this is a large piece of property, 20 plus acres?
At least.
Okay. Now, on that blue GMC, when the vehicle alerted on that, isn't it in fact true that blue GMC, you were advised, wasn't even on that property during the December 19th and 20th, correct?
I don't remember being advised of that.
Okay. So the Lindros brothers didn't tell you that that vehicle had just come in after being processed from a different crash scene?
I don't recall, but a lot of these vehicles are crashed vehicles, and there's blood and human fluids in a lot of these vehicles from the crashes. And the dog would alert on all of these scents, like the mercury where we got the tissue with the blood on it, things like that.
Okay. And to be clear, out of all of the vehicles that you guys were ever the dog alerted and all the vehicles you guys processed, none of those came back to having DNA of IS, right?
Correct. But you also have to remember, his statements were that he shot her outside of a car, not in a car. So, learning that after the fact. At the time, we didn't know. We're looking at everything, and everything is, suspect until proven otherwise. But
Okay. What day were you out there with the dog?
the 8th and the 10th.
Okay, same time you were doing the wires, right?
The wire came on the 9th.
Okay. There was actually more than one wire, right?
Your objection? Improper. And if we need further discussion, I would ask for that.
Jerry, I'm going to take a break. I got to work this out with the attorneys outside your presence. It's 10:20. Let's go ahead and take our mid-morning break. While we're on the break, well, I'll tell you about it at the next break. I'll get with you about it at the next break. But before lunch, please remember, don't discuss the case among yourselves or each other. Don't do any independent research. I'll see you back at 10:45. All right, the jury's outside are present. Detective Abbott, I'm sorry. It's my fault. All right, so we're still on the record. Detective Abbott, do you mind stepping out? Sure. You can feel free to get your steps in. We're still on the record. I have counsel for the state defense and Mr. Quiles present. The reason why I went ahead and gave the jury a break is that it became obvious at sidebar that it would be longer than a 2-minute conversation. So rather than having to do it at sidebar, I figured we'd do it in open court and maximize the jury's break at that point as well. So the state made an objection to the defense asking about another wire. I don't have any knowledge of a second wire. Or a first wire, however you phrase it. So, yes, sir, Mr. Davis.
Judge, in the context, there was 2 wires, is our understanding, that were provided. First wire, nothing of huge relevance or value came out of it, but there's still a second wire. My question is to Detective Abbott is, there was 2 wires. You didn't get anything out of the first wire, so therefore you went in with a second wire during the course of your investigation. That is not improper. That is not self-serving hearsay. That goes to the facts of his investigation, Your Honor.
Hey,
Yes, Your Honor, the state completely disagrees with the assertion by the defense. The first wire, there is limited amount of statements that the state believes, of course, is damning. However, most of it is involving denials. The state has told the defense that we were not going to elicit that wire, that it was self-serving hearsay, that could not be brought up, again, because it's self-serving hearsay. And I even asked the defense, are you going to try to elicit this during the trial? Because I said, if you are, I want to vet it before it's brought before the jury. Based upon my conversations with them, they didn't say that they were. And so that's why I didn't bring it before the court. So they knew the state's position on this matter, and then he went and did it anyways. So I do have an issue with that based upon our conversations off the record. But it is the state's position that it is hearsay for the defense to elicit that testimony, the same as any self-serving statements, the fact that that wire was mentioned. And they are trying to elicit self-serving hearsay statements. Oh, you didn't get anything on the first one, so let's go to the second one. So, again, Your Honor, it's completely improper. There's no hearsay exception for the defense, and we ask that the objection be sustained.
are you asking about the contents of the wire?
No, Your Honor.
Well, you just told me that you're implying that you went from a first wire to a second wire because you got nothing useful from the first wire. Doesn't that imply the contents of the first wire?
Judge, if he didn't get what he needed in his investigation, then that's why they went to the second wire. Or why he went to a second wire.
Okay, I'll see you guys back in 10 minutes. Let's go back on the record. I've counseled the state defense, Mr. Quiles present. The jury's outside our presence. State's objection is going to be sustained. The only reason why to bring up the first wire is to imply to the jury inadmissible hearsay at this point or self-serving statements to the defendant. Not saying it can't be relevant at a later point, but at this point that foundation has not been laid. I'll sustain the objection in front of the jury. Any other reason why we can't bring the jury in? First from the state.
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Defense.
As soon as he's ready, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Just for the record, over objection, Your Honor.
Understood.
On your ruling.
Bring the jury back in, please.
Your Honor, the jurors re-enter the court.
Members of the jury, welcome back. You guys may have a seat. State's objection is sustained. Mr. Davis, you may continue with your examination.
All right, Detective Abbott, you had testified as to Johnathan at some point had gone up to the airport area, correct?
Yes, up to Duval Place. It's off Airport Road, not the actual airport.
Right. He went to a business called Fastenal, correct?
Yes, it's a parts store.
It's a parts store, and that parts store provides parts for machinery and equipment used at Ace Pick-A-Part.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So him going up there didn't seem out of the ordinary if he was doing it in the regular course of business then, would it?
Correct.
Okay. And that was on December the 19th, if I remember correctly?
Yes, sir, the 19th.
Okay. Now, you had also testified that the distance from Ace Pick-A-Part up to Fastenal is about, what, 18, 20 miles?
No, I never testified to the distance between Ace Pick-A-Part and Fastenal, but I drove the distance, and I believe it takes 7 minutes to get up there and about 7 or 8 to get back. It was like approximately 15 minutes round trip. It's not very far.
Okay. If you're going by interstate, it's a little longer by Main Street, would that be accurate?
It would be a little bit longer by Main Street, but again, all things are dependent upon traffic. The north side is a lot busier now than it was 5 years ago.
Right.
So,
And
5 years ago, it's potential a lot faster because of less traffic. But again, it would all just depend on that day and time.
Right, and a lot more construction as well.
Yes.
Okay. And isn't it in fact true the distance from like Terry Parker up to the airport area is about 20 miles then? Give or take.
Give or take, maybe. I checked times, not mileage.
Okay. And if you were going from Terry Parker up to the airport, about how much time did it take you?
It's 20 minutes, 18 to 20 minutes.
Okay. Again, that was by the interstate at that time as well, right?
I took the interstate, yes.
Okay. Now, after that, you said that Joseph Quiles, his brother, called in and gave the tip, right?
Correct.
And that is what changed your investigation from a missing person to a homicide based on what the brother advised you, right?
That and the fact that the day before we have his DNA found in the crotch of her underwear.
Okay, well, since you brought that up, let's go to that. The DNA that was found in the crotch of her underwear, isn't it in fact true? You don't know whether it is based on skin cell or whether it's based on serology, do you?
No.
Okay, and it was inconclusive and unable to be determined by your own FDLE, correct?
On which one it was, yes. But it did belong to him.
Okay.
They just can't tell us what type of DNA it is.
So the mere fact that it could have been a skin transfer from him picking up her underwear and putting it into a bag or giving it to her since she was staying over there and maybe his wife washed it and there was a skin transfer, you can't be sure how his DNA got there, can you?
I can't really testify because I'm not an FDLE analyst that does biology on, I was told that it was closer to serology than skin cells, but again, I'm not the scientist. We rely on their information, but they weren't able to, like you said, tell us one way or another.
Okay. All right. Now, and to be clear, then between that and Joseph Quiles, that's what changed your investigation to a homicide, right?
Correct.
Okay. And then it wasn't long after that you started searching the Otis Road landfill, forgive me. Correct?
Correct. Well, we have to verify everything that the brother said, obviously, which started with his place of employment with, hey, is there a roll-away dumpster on this property? Yeah, it takes a week to fill it up. Do you have a record when it was picked up? In fact, yes, we do. It was picked up on the 20th, which then led to Otis Road.
I'm going to stick to answering my question and not sidetrack, please.
Okay.
So now, Otis Road landfill. In doing the Otis Road landfill, it took a lot of time and effort to coordinate all of that and set all that up, correct?
Correct.
So it didn't just happen overnight and that's why there's a time lapse between around January 9th or 10th all the way to the 16th in order to coordinate all that and set it up. Would that be accurate?
That is accurate.
All right. Now, out there at the Otis Road landfill, we're not just talking a couple of people, we're talking upwards of 50 to 75, even 100 people a day, right?
Yes. Police.
I'm sorry?
Police officers that were there searching?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So in the pictures where we just see one or two people maybe holding up something, that's not an accurate depiction of the sheer volume and magnitude of the amount of labor, man hours, and work that went into this, right?
Correct. We worked in rotations. It was hot on some days and cold on others, and we're wearing Tyvek suits with masks, helmets, gloves, boots. Very hot. It's very difficult to work in that. So you would send people up 10, 15 at a time to do the searches for about an hour, and they would come down, they would get rid of those suits. The next crew would come in with new suits. So there might be 60 people, but it's not like all 60 people are up there, digging through, searching. Some people are only washing boots. Some people are going back and forth getting waters. Some people are giving you rides to and from the top of the hill. It was a pretty good operation, but we tried to keep the search limited to a few people. Plus, we were switching off with detectives that were right there with them, going item by item, and hey, raise your hand if you see anything that looks weird. I know when I was on top, I personally checked every single pile looking.
Right. All right. Now, the area that you guys were looking was an area where you were advised, it was believed that the Ace Pick-Apart dumpster would have been dumped in that area, correct?
Correct.
All right. Now, were you also aware that in that same area, that Goodwill dumps, the business Goodwill?
Ed Smallfield told us it was the only thing that got dumped out there was construction debris.
Okay.
He's the manager of the Otis Road landfill.
Okay. So then it would be a surprise to you that Goodwill and the malls and other areas also dump there?
That would be a surprise because that goes against what the manager told us.
Okay. All right. And even with Ace Pick-Apart, that goes into their dumpster, there's clothes from vehicles that were wrecked or salvaged or whatever, right?
Correct.
Now, the bras and panties that were provided to you or that were recovered out there at the landfill, you can't say definitively that those were ISs, can you?
No, the DNA that was recovered on certain of those items was not enough to be conclusive.
And you can't even say that they were the correct size either, can you?
Some of them were of different sizes. There was one pair in particular. Most of the things that came out of there were super dirty, as you can imagine. But the one pair of underwear that we described of black, white, pink from their Valentine's Day collection from 2016, that was a cleaner pair of underwear that had come out of all of this, which also matched pairs that IS's mother and aunt had bought. They went together to buy all three pair.
And the pair that was recovered wasn't the same or the correct size though, was it?
It was small. I believe it was the same size.
Okay. Now, the book that was recovered that said Terry Parker on it, you don't have any knowledge if that was in fact IS's book or somebody else that was recovered out of a vehicle or dumped there either.
I called the school to see if they had a record of that. And I gave them the numbers off the barcode for Terry Parker, and they said that the book was not in their inventory, but they said that they have books that students can borrow and have and take and return without, keeping an inventory of it. So I can't definitively say that it was or was not.
Okay. Let's see. As part of your investigation, you did a complete cell phone dump of Johnathan Quiles as well, right?
Yes.
Okay. And there was nothing specifically connecting Johnathan Quiles to IS, right?
The only thing that I found when I searched her name and number, there's a search option that does a master search of the entire device, and the only thing that linked to him from his phone dump, or to her from the phone dump, was her contact.
Right. Now, you had brought up that there was a 2-year gap in there between, I believe, 16 and 18, where there's nothing on the phone, right?
Correct.
Okay. In you speaking with Mr. Quiles, isn't it in fact so? He advised you that during that 2-year gap, he was using a different phone, an iPhone at that time, right?
He told us that he had recently got a new phone, but if you compare that to the records, everybody knows when you get a new phone, they transfer all your data to the new phone. However, you see information on the phone from 2016, then there's a gap, and then it picks back up at 18 with a 2-year period missing from phone calls, texts, and location data.
Okay. And me not being a tech guy, Android and iPhone, though, don't interact well with each other, do they?
I don't know. I'm not.
Okay. So if he was using an iPhone, that doesn't necessarily mean that everything would transfer over or be able to be found on that.
I can't say if it would or would not.
Okay. So, but he did advise you he was using an iPhone, though, right?
I don't recall him saying iPhone. I recall him saying I got a different phone.
Okay. And do you recall him telling you that when that phone broke, he went back to using this backup phone until his new one was coming in?
He may have said that.
Okay. So it wasn't like he was trying to hide the last 2 years and wipe it out. It was just he was waiting on another phone then, right?
Your Honor, objection, hearsay and speculation.
Sustained.
All right. All right. Now, about the same time that IS went missing, there was also, when it did finally make the news, there was a couple of people that called in, right?
Yes. It's typical with a lot of missing persons cases that make the news.
Okay. And these people called in with information as to where they believed they had seen IS after she went missing. Would that be accurate?
The tips were more like, hey, we saw a girl that looks like it might be her. It's over in a park, or it's over in Azalea Ridge Apartments. Just different tips coming in like that, yes.
Okay. And I believe your testimony on direct was JSO doesn't send anybody out right away to check on that. It's relayed, and it can be several days before somebody actually follows up. Is that accurate?
That isn't far from accurate. What I said was sometimes we get the tips several days after. That sometimes when they call in, it could be a couple of days afterwards when they're calling this in. Hey, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, yesterday I saw her in this park or walking down this street. Well, in instances such as that, it's easy to vet those quickly because obviously the person's not still going to be walking through the park a day or 2 days or 3 days later. But the ones that were close in time frame that we could quickly get out there. We did send detectives out to search for video, to look for people, anything that might corroborate the tips. But everything that we ever tried to do, I mean, we never found anything.
Okay. Now, you also testified on direct about the pill bottles, the dog clay, and the parsley.
Correct.
Now, what dates did you go out there and retrieve those items?
I was contacted April 2nd about that, and as soon as she called me that night, it was like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and Detective Guthrie and I were working that night because we were on call. I'm like, let's go out there, let's get crime scene, and we went straight there to see the stuff and collect it.
Okay. Now, were you aware in speaking with Naomi Quiles that IS and SS would use her computer to order things through Amazon?
No.
They didn't tell you that?
No.
Forgive me, SS didn't tell you that?
SS didn't tell me that, and neither did Naomi.
Okay. And so when the pill bottles were located in April, in the same room that SS was still staying in, it had been 4 months that had been sitting there, and SS never bothered to tell you, right?
Correct.
Okay. And both SS and Kimberly Mobley had access to those, correct?
Correct, but Kimberly Mobley, when I talked to her that night, she had never seen it before. She didn't know what it was. She said, and like I said before, SS was kind of slow to warm up and start coming off of information, just trying to hide all of this stuff still. And she told her about it. That's when she immediately called me. I was like, look, nobody touched anything, but obviously she did touch it because we found her DNA on it. On Miss Mobley's DNA, from her picking it up, trying to read what is this? What is he giving her?
And that was Kimberly Mobley's DNA was the only one found on it, correct?
Correct.
All right. Now, as part of your investigation, you also learned of Kamar Humphrey, right?
Yes, I did.
Did you have a meeting with him?
I never met with him, no.
Okay. So you never followed up on his alibi either, did you?
His alibi?
Yes.
So the incident with Kamar Humphrey took place in March, 9 months before she went missing. And in all the cell phone dumps and social media and everything, iCloud, everything that I ever came back, nothing ever pointed to him. There was no communications. There was no plans to get away and get married. None of that. Everything that I had pointed to the defendant, not to Kamar Humphrey. It's not that he wasn't investigated.
He's not responsive to my specific question.
You're objecting to your own question and his answer?
No, I'm objecting the witness is non-responsive and not answering the specific question. He's going off, and
That's cross-examination.
I had no need to interview him because none of the evidence pointed to him.
okay, so you can't say for certain that he didn't have access to those Snapchats, right?
No.
You can't say for certain who had access to those Snapchats and who was communicating with IS or SS, right?
I think the messages speak for themselves. Kamar Humphrey doesn't have a daughter named Nia.
Okay, but there's multiple people in there in looking at those Snapchats that you were reading off. Several of them are actually talking about Johnathan Quiles and his family and his kids, right?
I didn't read any of those off.
Okay. And but again, you don't know where Kamar Humphrey was on the day IS went missing, right?
Correct.
You don't know if Kamar Humphrey was still having a sexual relationship with IS at the time, do you?
I believe he was not.
That's your belief. But you don't know.
After the allegation, he kind of disappeared and got away from that family to avoid that entire situation at all. But like I said, in all the evidence that I found, nothing ever pointed to Kamar Humphrey.
So he disappeared around the same time that IS disappeared, right?
No, he disappeared right after the allegations in March, 9 months prior to her disappearing.
Okay.
But that investigation continued. It was a special assault investigation.
You say you disappeared in March, but wasn't he in fact here in Jacksonville on Christmas of,
When I say disappeared, I meant he left the house where he was staying across the street from IS and went to stay elsewhere in Jacksonville with family.
okay, but you don't know if he was still having an ongoing relationship with her, do you?
I found no messages or any evidence of that, no. However, in September, she would be 16 and he would be 20 or 21 still. In the state of Florida, that relationship would then be legal.
Okay, but he was already a sex offender at that point, right?
I don't know what date he became a sex offender.
Okay. All right. Going back to the Snapchats that you were testifying to, the images that were on the Snapchats, several of them the state pulled up for you. None of those images were that of Johnathan Quiles, were they?
No,
In the Snapchat, none of those images were of Mr. Quiles' family, were they?
no.
Okay.
On those particular messages, no.
Right, the ones you just testified to for both yesterday afternoon and this morning. Now, in addition to that, you made comments about, on a couple of them, you know, these are images of two people having sex. Those were cartoon animes of people having sex, not actual people, right?
Correct, it's drawing.
Okay. And those were not a depiction of Mr. Quiles and IS together, were they?
No.
And again, IS had 3 different accounts, right?
Yes.
Okay. But the one that was of interest was the Princess 400, 46 and the XS Ayana, right?
Correct. I did warrants for all 3, though, to obtain the data from all 3.
Right, but those were the 2 that were seen where the messages were going back and forth.
Where they are communicating back and forth, yes.
Okay. You don't know who created these Snapchat accounts, do you?
The Snapchat log shows that they were created using her email address.
Okay, but you don't know who created it.
Correct. It could have been Johnathan or IS.
For all you know, it could have been me, right?
Did you know her email address then?
You don't know who actually was texting between the accounts, do you?
I attempted to get their IP addresses for the logins to see if that was, but I was too late on that. I did that after the fact. I should have did that earlier, but that's something that I didn't realize I could do. And by the time I attempted to get that to determine locations for that information had already been purged. But as we can see in some of the other things that, some of the other snaps that were screenshot that I read off, they're in the same house while they're snapping things. For example, where he said, "I'm going to sneak a kiss," and
Okay, how do you know they're in the same house? You're
that's what the
speculating
message.
as
That's
to
what the
that.
message said.
You're speculating as to that, though.
The message said we're in the same house.
Okay, but you can't say for sure at that point in time that was Johnathan Quiles at the house, or if it was someone else, can you?
The message says uncle.
And for all you know, actually, with the animosity of Kimberly Mobley, she could have been fabricating this and putting it on IS's Snapchat just to plant the seed there so he'd be arrested, right?
Your objection is speculation.
Sustained.
On the videos that were on IS's account, you don't know who those people were in them, do you?
No,
You don't know if they were friends, do you?
I don't believe they were. It looks like stuff off the internet.
Okay,
They weren't any of the friends that I met and spoke with.
all right. And you can't say for certain, again, who put those images up there, right?
They came from that account, the Princess 40046 account.
Right. But you don't know who put it up there.
I think the messages kind of speak for themselves on who's talking in those messages.
All right. Judge, may I have a second with counsel?
No further questions, Your Honor.
See you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
The rest of your day.
Thank you.